I'm not going to go into details of a private conversation, but what we saw over the course of the last few months is a collapse in leadership. And that was happening even before Ghani left the country.
But a balanced hypocrisy alert, ding. When Trump was president, she viewed leaked phone calls a little differently, tweeting back in 2019, and I'm quoting, "It's not just the call transcript. A whistleblower complaint would likely have more details. We need both, and not just the call." Well, our panel joins us to weigh in. Mercedes Schlapp, former White House Director of Strategic Communications and former senior advisor for the Trump 2020 campaign, and Chad Prather, host of the Chad Prather Show, also running for governor of Texas. Let me start with you, Chad. Mercy's, just hold with me for 1 second, my dear friend. Chad, I haven't had you on. It's the first time on this show. Chad, your thoughts with the hypocrisy of when it's Biden, the phone calls got to stay private. But when it was Trump, we need all the details surrounding this phone call.
You know, the left is funny. Democrats are funny. They want to continue using that same old modus operandi that they had when the Messiah, Barack Obama, was in office. He was untouchable, and you couldn't question him, and they made sure that he was completely comforted and protected from any criticism whatsoever. They're trying to do this with Biden, except it's not going as smoothly for them in a post-Trump era, because at the end of the day, the left wasn't interested in the truth as much as they were about making sure they found as much dirt as they could on Donald Trump. Now that the tables are turned and they're the ones that are in power, they're not willing to be quite so transparent. So the hypocrisy is quite palpable.
Quite palpable. I say, Mercy, you were there. You were there, and they were maybe that phone call, that phone call they were all worried about. They even went to an impeachment over a phone call. They wanted more, but when it's Biden, shh, it's got to be quiet.
Eric, I've never seen the Democrat Party so silent, especially considering the fact that President Biden has had this colossal of a failure when it comes to this withdrawal in Afghanistan. You're right about the call. It was, the Democrats were pushing for an impeachment for this one call with the Ukrainian government official. It was something that we knew was blown completely out of context. Here you have this transcript of this call between President Biden and President Ghani, and just listening to what President Biden said, talking about we have to, this is about perception, Eric, when the reality is that we needed to do everything we could to support the Afghan forces so that these terrorists would not take control of the country. And sadly, we're in a bad position because the Democrats are not going to call for an investigation. They're not going to do anything in Congress. And as the Republicans being the minority right now in both the House of Representatives and the Senate, we're not in a strong position. We can yell, we can scream, we can keep speaking up, but it's the Democrats who are in charge, and they're just going to keep pushing their agenda items and ignoring this call for an investigation, this call for possible impeachment. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's why elections have consequences, and I'm guessing 2022 should be very, very interesting. I believe the Republicans will take both the House and the Senate back, and then the hearings, then they have subpoena power, and then things will open up. And I guarantee you there will be an investigation of what happened on August 26th, and that first, July 23rd, that phone call, and then August 26th when we lost 13. Chad, take a listen, both of you guys, take a listen to this new Trump ad. And I think this is really, really well produced. It's all about Afghanistan and Biden's failure. Listen.
Afghanistan cannot be used as a terrorist base.
That Afghanistan has become a Disneyland for terrorists.
We plan for every contingency.
Total chaos.
It is heartbreaking. It is depressing. It's a failure, and he needs to own that failure.
I bear responsibility for all that's happened.
He did not admit any mistakes. He did not offer any change of course. He says we're going to continue forward.
He really isn't taking responsibility.
Mr. Biden, you did this. You made the deal with the Taliban. This is the consequences of it. Go to hell, Biden.
Tens of thousands of people being left.
Yeah, that goes on. Really, really stunning video. And Chad, this was all in the last month. That was all compiled, that much tape of really ugly stuff going on at the hands of President Biden's decisions. 1 month's worth of life.
Hey, Eric, it's interesting how quickly Joe Biden became the worst president in the history of the United States. It only took him 7 or 8 months, maybe even less, to do that. Now this has been quite literally the icing on top of this tragic humanitarian cake, if you will. They're even writing articles right now in defense of Jimmy Carter and the good things that he actually did compared to a Joe Biden presidency. This is a humanitarian crisis on top of other humanitarian crises that this president has to own. This administration has to own this. Powerful ad by the Trump administration or the Trump group. And let me just tell you, it is 100% powerful because it is 100% true.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, Mercy? In a little more than a month, 5 weeks or so, there's that much tape of such a colossal failure on the Biden administration's part.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when you see the chaos at the border, you're actually finding that many of these migrant children, you can't even find them. You don't know where they are in the country. That's an outrage. Obviously, the chaos in Afghanistan, the loss of lives of our men and women in the military from that attack, that terrorist attack at the Kabul airport. You're talking about inflation that's hitting our economy, affecting middle-class families. This is a compiled mess. Yeah. And there is no way that President Biden can recover from this. His poll numbers are basically just continuing to decrease. And I just think that the American people are looking back and saying, are we safer today than we were when President Trump were in office? And I think they're saying no. I think we are less safe. I think that they recognize that we did have strong leadership under President Trump. And, you know, what we're showing with Biden is they wanted a nice guy. But the nice guy, all we knew about him is that he lived in the basement and he was going to be someone who couldn't strongly lead this nation. And now you have China filling the void in countries like Afghanistan. And you're also seeing the mainstream media kind of quiet on how they approached the Biden situation because they just don't even know what to say anymore.
We're going to hit that in the next block, but you're 100% right. Mercedes and Chad, by the way, guys, I mean, I see people holding on to airplanes trying to get to the United States of America, not get away from the United States of America. There's a reason for that. Mercedes Schlapp, Chad Prather, thank you both for being here so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.